So even though I said do a 3, I like to start here. So what I do is see how I'm following my cheekbone? So I blend about these two colors together just to kind of give a more neutral type tone, and then do the fish lips. And then blend upwards. Kind of like you're blending into your hairline, but you see like the difference a little bit. Sometimes I like to take a darker shade if you have a two-toned bronzer or contour kit. And then kind of place it at the end. And then blend. If it's a little too hard, you don't have to do that. And then obviously the temple. So you're making that 3 still shape. For this, I like to kind of move my head, it looks silly, but like move my face like that. So you get that sharper edge, or you can just tilt to the side. Start here to get that jawline effect. And do this. So you'll have this here. So it's not gonna look absolutely crazy. I'm gonna take the darker shade on my palette, and I'm gonna start here on the sides. Give the illusion. Sometimes I like to bring it up if you'd like to make it look a little bit smaller. I just kind of do this for contrast, but you want to follow the lines of your nose to appear that it's like smaller. Sometimes you can do, if you don't like the tip of your nose, I like mine, but I like to do this either way to kind of give it that button type nose. So bring that over to the front, and then once you're done with that, I like to take the same powder brush and just blend it all in like so. So it doesn't give it that kind of this look. Kind of have to go a little bit rougher with it sometimes, depending on the type of contour that you use. Sometimes it blends out easier, sometimes it doesn't. Mine, I use the e.l.f. one, two-toned, so sometimes it needs a little bit of extra help. You don't really want to see those harsh lines in there, so you want to make sure that everything is blended out. I like to go up with my temple and like my forehead area just to kind of get it like, because we're going like this downwards, so I kind of like to blend it upwards to kind of give it a little bit more blended, kind of airbrushed kind of look. If I can get it to that point, see it's a little bit better. You can kind of see it a little bit. That's when you can go like the circles around, as long as it's not taking off your foundation. And then we did our sides. We're still going with that fish to kind of like, you know. And then following the jawline that we did. Making sure everything looks good. Stand back, look at it. If you find anything, obviously you can go over with powder. If you find that it's a little bit too dark in certain areas, you can go over, dip your brush in powder, tap it off. That you just don't have that, like, you know, James Charles look that we all remember. So dust it off, blend it in, and then you'll be set. And now we're going to move on to eyeshadow. Since we did a more dramatic look last time, I'm going to show you a simple 3-toned eyeshadow look. So this is an everyday thing for me. These are my favorite colors that I like to use, especially when I'm working, going out, or need something fast. So basically, I start off with a taupe color, a medium dark, and then a lighter dark, and then end it with this into my corner. So you want to start off with this, tap it off. And you want to start kind of right between like your outer crease and blend it in. And you always want to keep your eyes kind of down but like looking at something, that way you don't like mess up, you know what I mean? I like to feather it out into a V, well, a really large V, kind of like an L in a way, like an awkward L. So you're following that, and we'll go back in there and obviously blend that little guy out, kind of leaving a gap between your lid area as much as you can. You can obviously go over that with a concealer to give it more of that, you know, defined shape. So now that we have our eyes looking like this, you kind of want to start to blend it a little bit better, more than I already did. I like to take it to the top to kind of give it a little bit of dimension in the eye, fluff it out on the sides to give it kind of that wing. Fix this because that one always messes me up. And kind of fluff it like that. That way it kind of gives it a certain shape, my signature shape as I say. And then this will get fixed, so you don't want to have to worry too much about those. Just to kind of see how it's kind of a little bit two-toned in a way. Do a little bit like that. Fluff it out on the sides to give it that little spice. We'll fix these to make it more sharp at the end. Since you know it's going to be a dramatic, it could be a holiday look, it could be anything, everyday kind of look if you're feeling a little spicy, or you can wear it to anything honestly, in my opinion, because it's just three-toned browns and a one sparkly lid, so about 4 colors. I know I said 3 earlier, I'm sorry I lied. But super simple, just blend it out like normal or leave it if you already have it all blended out. So now we're going to dip into the second darkest shade from the light brown. So we're going to start and dip into this brown right here, tap off the excess, and that's where we're going to go a little bit into the crease this time instead of above it. So I like to kind of pack it in there just a little bit and then blend. You can see like the contrast of that giving a little bit more definition. Kind of follow your V still. Fluff it out if you can if it's starting to look a little wonky. And then do the same thing to the other eye. Now that we're at the last darkest shade, you're gonna start that here. If you're like me, like a little bit more darkness, you can always go in with a black shade, but this is how it looks to me on camera. And everything comes along when, even if you think it looks a little bit crazy right now, everything falls together when you add a little bit of mascara, a little bit of liner, a little bit of lashes, you know. So I like to do it on the outer edge, kind of bring it in, kind of give it a little bit of, you know, and then just kind of blend it a little bit in with the crease, not too much, fluff it out. Same thing with the other eye. Sometimes you miss a spot, I could go back in. That way it gives it that kind of, let's see the different little layers. And then, if you want to put concealer to kind of give your sparkle area a little bit more room, you can. If not, you can go right ahead and apply it just the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to add a little bit of concealer on top of it just to kind of even everything out. But if you don't want to do that, or you think it's a little bit hard, I'll show you how to do that in the next video. I will go right ahead and start applying that for you so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And I would like to start here to here, leave a little bit of sparkle in the corner, and here. Almost forgot, you want to go back in with between the light and the medium shade, back and forth, dot it off a little bit, dust it off, sorry, and go right underneath there. Try not to make crazy faces on the camera because you know we all do that. Just like so. And then now we're gonna go jump in with that sparkly shade. Okay, so next we're going to take this beautiful, sparkly, gorgeous shade. And I like to kind of, it looks like I'm breaking it, but I'm not, I promise. Alright, I'm just kidding. And sometimes the color doesn't come up too much, so I like to press and drag. So you can see the colors coming up marvelously. And then if you can, tap some of the excess off It's a loose kind of like shimmer. I'm gonna try to keep it packed on there. And then I put it here, right next to your tear duct. A little bit on my nose because you know. Right there as well. Up by the waterline. Or if you can't find anything too sparkly like that, I like to go in a shade like this. Do the type of same thing. Brighten it a little bit more. And then right above the Cupid's bow. I like to go over it, and then afterwards I'm going to blend these two colors kind of together to give it like a softer look. So with a little bit more of a blending type brush, just go a little bit like this. Kind of blend it together. A mix between your two lightest and darkest browns, and just kind of almost like it was already doing this already. Just make it look. Sometimes you could do like a darker, but sometimes I don't like to do that because it could mess up your look, so that it kind of looks a little bit more blended in. And then next we're gonna go do the liner or wing if you like that. But I'm gonna do my wing, so I'll see you in a minute. So we're gonna start with our Hyper Ease Maybelline Felt Tip Liner. I like to start towards the middle and then flare out, connecting these two lines. Super easy once you get the hang of it, and I'll show more how to make it a little bit more easier. It took me a very long time to figure that out. Then connect this part to there. And there you go. And then you just want to fill this in. Like, I have to hold my breath every time I do it. And then you're gonna do the same thing to the other side. So, I really love doing this part. I make it look like I have longer lashes on the bottom. So, it takes a lot of patience that I don't have, but it's fine. So what I like to do, if you would like to do this, you can skip ahead if you would like to and move on to the lashes. But I like to do my lower lashes drawn on, so I'm going to show you how to do that. So you're going to start by making kind of like a mini V, and I'll show you. More like a Y, but that. So you're gonna do that same thing all along, and then once you get towards the front, you're gonna make them a little bit smaller, and then I like to extend out to make it look like they're coming down. It's so hard to do, but you will get there. And I'll show you how it looks exactly once I finish this eye, and then I'll repeat to the same eye. So now looking absolutely crazy, I'm gonna do the same thing the other side, and then I'll add many little tiny lines in between to kind of give it that lash look. I promise everything will come together, but I added little ones on the sides, so now I'll do the other side. I look insane, but it's fine. We're gonna move on to lashes next, and I promise this will all come together. If you do not like doing this, you can always do mini strokes, and I'll show you how to do that one as well. But it will always come together, and I will show you towards the end. And now we're gonna move on to lashes, and I'll show you how to add the lash adhesive onto the lash line, and when it is ready to be applied. So, this one's a little crusty, I'm sorry. So, I have a little applicator. This is always a mess, I don't know why. So you're gonna take this and you're gonna add it to this part. Sometimes, if you'd like to, you can always add a little bit to your actual lid to kind of hold it on. So what I do is I place one here, one here, and one here, and do it to the same side. Don't do too much because, you know, and then you're gonna do the same thing that we just did to this one to the other lash. So you want to know how long it takes for your lashes to finish drying to apply them to your eye. Ever boil eggs and you're like, wondering how long it takes for you to boil your eggs when you forget about them. So we're gonna forget about them and do our eyebrows for a little bit. And I'll show you how to do these as well. I literally do this every single time because by the time I'm done with my brows, they're usually tacky and nice. Basically, when I do my lashes, if you like doing a pomade, I like to follow my lower brow. Keep the shape of your brow because you don't want them too chunky, because I've been there and I look like old James Charles, and that is not a mood. Sorry, James. And then you're gonna do the same thing for the top of your brow and follow your natural arch. Sometimes I like to help her out a little bit. This eyebrow is always so difficult for me. And then I like to take a line down here as the product is kind of disappearing and fluff it up to kind of give it that ombre look. Make sure they both look good. They're not twins, they're sisters. Remember that. Sister brows. Now we're gonna move on to our lashes. To apply these, because everybody always asks me about this, either at work or everywhere that I go, how do you put these things on? So I like to start in the inner corner and kind of drag it to the end. If you have acrylics on, it even helps it better because it's kind of like mini clamps. And fix it like that. But to give it its natural little curls, so you don't have to keep curling your eyelashes because they ain't good for you, girl. Make sure it's all sticking on there. And then boom. Then you'll blend this in with mascara because that's a no-no, and then you're gonna do the same thing to the other eye. So now that you practically look like a doll, I'm going to take my Mally eyeliner. It is the best eyeliner that I've ever had. It is waterproof, it is smudge proof, it's working, girl. I work in this for 8 hours sometimes. I've been in school with it for 8 hours sometimes. Not sometimes, I lied. That's all the time. I wear eyeliner every single day. I put this face on every day, girl. So I'm gonna show you how this applies. It is a gel tip. She's very small. I use her a lot. They last a very long time. Really good pigment. So what I do is I take it and just to blend your little doll eyelashes in, I kind of like to start at the rim of this and kind of like smudge it in place. That way it blends everything together. And the same thing with this eye. And then, crazy enough, I do the top. Because you don't want, you know, it looks scary. My mom always I always freak her out when I do this, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna follow that top waterline, and this always comes off the fastest because you know, your eyes water and everything. Sometimes my lashes come out of place, so I kind of just make sure to re-stick them back down. And if you see how there's sometimes a little whiteness in between that, I will show you do that with a liquid liner, and I'll show you right now. If you ever get that, what I do is I take the very tippity top of this and just kind of glide it in there. Now with my all-time favorite, it is Upside Down mascara by Milk. It is Kush mascara. It is my favorite by them. So basically, I need a new one, but I like to swirl around. Do not pump it because you'll get bacteria in it, so swirl it around, girl. Then start by the root, push it up, give it that natural curl without curling your eyelashes, and blend like so. Other eye. Lower, because you know. Don't call me crazy, but I have really dark eyebrows, so I just lightly go across the list to keep these babies in place. If you do not have dark eyebrows, I suggest not doing this unless you want to look crazy. But since I do, I like to put this on top because, you know, best mascara and it's going to hold these babies in place. Make sure you covered everything if you want to, because sometimes these little babies don't stay in place. Your natural lashes, you may curl them. I don't, because everything is so dark in my eye that you can't even see it. But I told you that it would come out perfectly and you will not look crazy. So next, I like to apply a highlighter here. If you do not want to apply a highlighter, then you are all done, girl. You look fabulous. So now I'm going to apply my favorite Jeffree Star highlighter. Tell me how gorgeous she is. So, with my bare finger, I like to take this. Look at my gorgeous. Admire it. I like to pat this on here because this stuff is very glittery and I just like it to stay in place, but blind them, you know. How I get my sales girl, I'm just kidding. Maybe. So I pat that on here, and you can obviously see the bridge of your nose. My manager loves when I do this because she thinks it looks beautiful. Sometimes I put it in my eyeliner or my eyeshadow right here where I apply the glitter, but I don't want to do that today because I don't want to be blinding everybody. Put it right here, Cupid's bow, and you are all set, and you have your either everyday look, a New Year's look, holiday look, whatever you want to do with this look. It is now your look. So I hope you like this video. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. And I will be starting to post new videos soon, so I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and have a great day. Bye-bye.